The September 21st, 2015 meeting of the City of Vandalia will now come to order, but I am going to wait just a moment here, if you don't mind, for Missy. I didn't see that she wasn't here. We lost her.
Looks like an emergency.
Yeah, it does.
There she is.
There she is.
Got a responder.
It's okay. I have called the meeting to order, and the first thing that we're going to do is to have a moment of reflection, and that will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Would you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, you have been able to review the minutes from the council study session of September the 8th, 2015, and also the council meeting minutes of September the 8th, 2015. Are there any corrections or revisions to those? Seeing none, they'll stand approved. We have no communication petitions or awards this evening, nor do we have any public hearings, and that brings us to the comments from interested citizens. So if there is anyone in our audience who would like to give a comment to council, would you please come up to the podium, state your name and address for our records, and give us your comment? Seeing none, we'll go on to the city. Oh, I'm sorry.
Get up quick enough.
Boy, I guess. You didn't let me know prior.
I know, but we had
That's
a pretty busy
yeah.
work session, so I was going to say something in there.
Okay.
Wanted to let the council know and citizens know that DP&L will be announcing Wednesday a reinvigoration of our Right Tree, Right Place message that we brought to you in the spring. And there are 3 parts to the whole attention that we're bringing to that, and a couple of those are beneficial, could be a benefit to the city and to the citizens. So the first part is some grants that we're offering out to community grants that with a maximum of $50,000 that are offered out to Tree City USA cities, and Vandalia just became one of those cities. And it's for improvement to public space, such as parks, your business districts. So 40% of the grant needs to be used for planting trees, which are utility-friendly trees or other vegetation, or environmental improvements. The balance can be used for other types of improvements, park benches, hardscapes, lighting, other things that will improve those public spaces. Again, I talked to Candace for a little while about this, specifically asking her questions to try and get ideas for things that we might be able to offer for cities, because I know she's doing some improvements to the art park. There's an online applications, and the communities can apply for that online. And again, it'll be all cities and communities that are Tree City USA, Arbor Day cities in our service territory that will go for those. The other thing that we're going to kick off is an application for homeowners associations, neighborhoods, small business groups where you're in a group together. We're partnering with Operation 1000 Cherry Tree Project, which was set up by Alex Hera, a local businessman, as a thank you to U.S. citizens for their response to the tsunami and earthquake in 2011. So his goal is to put out 1,000 cherry trees in the Dayton, Ohio area. So we are going to put up 100 cherry trees, and we're hoping to do those in neighborhoods where they may have lost all the trees in their yards from ash or from a storm or other things, or maybe it's a new subdivision that doesn't have any vegetation. Those plants will need to be planted in the front yard or in a public viewable space. And again, that will be online application for those groups. So please, if you're in a neighborhood or you know somebody who is in one, or a builder who's got a new neighborhood, have his association or groups of them, homeowners can get together. If, one whole block that lost a lot of trees during the tornado, they could get together and apply for these. Then the last part is on October 17th, there'll be a walk-in at 5 area nurseries where residents can go in and get a potable tree. So it's the size that they can carry home and plant themselves. And that will happen at North Dayton Garden Center over in Huber, both Siebenthaler locations, Knollwood, and Stockschlegers. So citizens can go in. They just need to get up early and be there in the morning. So thank you.
Thank you. Wait just a minute, please.
Huh?
I said, just a minute, please, because I do have a question. All these are online that we can just make application through the
Yep,
online
yep.
process?
So if you go to dpandl.com/right-tree, that'll get you all the information on all 3 parts of it. The application, you'll be able to find the link for that.
Okay. And also, I'm sorry, because I was so quick and saying that we didn't have anybody. We need your name and address
Oh,
for
I
our
forgot that
records.
part. I apologize. Holly Wiggins, 660 Castle Creek Drive.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Now we can go on to the city manager's report this evening with the information items.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I've got 2 items this evening. First, October is Fire Prevention Month, and therefore the Division of Fire will host an open house on Sunday, October 4th, from 1 to 3:30 at Fire Station 1 on Peters Pike. And also our 2015 leaf collection schedule has been published. The schedule is available by street name on the city's website for anybody interested in, again, the collection schedule.
Okay. Any comments about any of those? I'll just make one. I always enjoy the fire open house. It's a great time, and especially when you see all the young children so interested in the equipment and everything. And then the other thing is, are the actual collection dates and so forth going to be published any place else besides our website?
Yes, I think we're putting them in our newsletter.
Okay.
That's going to be mailed out here shortly as
Okay,
well.
great. Anyone else? Seeing none, we go to the action items and the liquor license request. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. First one, again, a C1 and a C2 liquor permit application has been received from the National Road drive-through located at 2950 West National Road. Again, staff recommends that council not request Ohio Department of Liquor Control hearing on this new liquor license request.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we do not request an ODLC hearing for the new liquor license at National Road Drive-Thru LLC, 2950 West National Road.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Gerhardt, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do not request an ODLC for the licensing of the liquor permit. Anybody have any questions or comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Gerhardt.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Brusman.
Yes.
Councilman Ehlers.
Yes.
Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. The donation of used EMS stretchers. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, during our previous study session, council heard a request from Box 21 Rescue that for the donation of 2 surplus manual lift Stryker cots. You recall again the department last year replaced their cots with new battery-powered lift-assisted stretchers that were financed partially through a 75% BWC grant. Again, Box 21 is a volunteer fire EMS rescue nonprofit, again, that operates and has provided assistance to the city on several occasions.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we approve donation of the 2 EMS stretchers to the Stryker stretchers to Box 21.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Blakesley, second by Councilman Lewis, that we do approve the donation of the EMS stretchers to Box 21. Comments?
Just one, I think it's nice that we're able to provide or to help spread the wealth since we received some money for the cots that replace these through grants, that we're able to pass this on along to a nonprofit organization.
I think we'll all agree. Anyone else? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Brusman.
Yes.
Councilman Ayers.
Yes.
Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilman Gerhard.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. We have no old business this evening, and that brings us to our first resolution, and that being 15-R-79. Would you please read it by title only?
Resolution 15R79, a resolution authorizing the city manager to continue the agreement with Business First for a Greater Dayton Regional Business Retention and Expansion Program.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Vandalia has been participating in the Business First Retention and Expansion Program since 2002 under the terms of an intergovernmental cooperation agreement between the participating jurisdictions. The current agreement is set to expire at the end of this year, and the county is requesting approval of a new 5-year agreement for the term January 1, 2016 through December 31 of 2020. The purpose of the program is to support the growth and retention of local businesses by identifying their needs and providing information and resources to satisfy those needs. The program also promotes communication and cooperation between the economic development entities that participate in the program. The annual cost to participate in the Business First program is $1,500.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve Resolution 15R-79 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Lewis, second by Councilman Ayers, that we do approve Resolution 15-R-79. Are there any comments?
I'd like to mention one that I think it's another tool in the toolbox for Mr. Shackelford, and I think we have benefited from this quite a bit. I don't know that we can put a quantitative measure to it at this point if we were to ask, what we've received in that regards, but I know it's been quite advantageous to us.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Brusman.
Yes.
Councilman Ayers.
Yes.
Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilman Gerhard.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Resolution 15-R-80 by title only.
15-R-80. A resolution amending the Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual of the City of Vandalia.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, proposed changes to the Personnel Policies and Procedure Manual were reviewed with Council at your July 20th and September 8th study sessions. Many of the proposed changes are housekeeping in nature or to comply with state or federal law. However, a couple of the other changes do include, again, asserting the city's home rule authority to adopt personnel policies and procedures that supersede state statutes, making layoffs merit-based, dependent upon the employee's job performance rather than length of service, expanding the criteria for which civil service candidates may be removed from consideration, allowing a civil service appointment to be made from one of the top 5 candidates rather than the top candidate, and implementation of a tobacco use policy.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 15-R-80.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councilman Ayers, second by Councilman Gerhart, that we do approve Resolution 15-R-80. Are there any comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Ayers.
Yes.
Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilman Gerhard.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Brusman.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 6-0. Resolution 15-R-81, would you please read it by title only?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution 15R81. A resolution waiving formal bidding and authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Interactive Health for voluntary health evaluations and auxiliary wellness services for Vandalia full-time employees, council members, eligible part-time and contractual employees, and eligible spouses, and to offer gift card incentives to encourage participation.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Annually, the city offers health risk assessments through Interactive Health to all full-time employees. The purpose of the health risk assessment is to make employees aware of their current health status as part of the city's ongoing mission to control healthcare costs. The assessment includes a questionnaire, a 21-panel blood screen, and a confidential follow-up report. Healthy lifestyle coaching is also available for employees to help reduce risk factors, to manage chronic conditions, and to improve or address other health-related concerns. Because the cost of this contract will exceed $10,000, council authorization is necessary.
Thank you. A motion, please?
I'll make a motion, we approve Resolution 15R-81.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Bressman, second by Councilman Ayers, that we do approve Resolution 15-R-81. Comments from council? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Gerhard.
Yes.
Councilman Bressman.
Yes.
Councilman Ayers.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 6-0. Resolution 15-R-82 by title only, please.
Resolution 15R82. A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Thank you, Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Montgomery County Budget Commission has approved the city's property tax rate of 4.14 mils for 2016. The city's inside millage is 1.84 mils, and that's comprised of 1.54 mils for the general fund, with estimated revenue of $488,037, and 0.3 mils for the police pension fund, with estimated revenue of $95,072. The city's voted outside millage is 2.3 mils for the general fund, with an estimated revenue of $728,887.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll make
I
a
don't.
motion. I'll make a motion, we
Okay.
approve Resolution 15-R-82.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Bressman, second by Councilman Gerhart, that we approve Resolution 15-R-82. Are there any comments from council? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Gerhard.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Bressman.
Yes.
Councilman Ayers.
Yes.
Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Resolution 15-R-83 by title only, please.
Resolution 15R83, a resolution authorizing an amendment to the contract for income tax collection services with the city of Brookville.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. The city's income tax collection agreement with the city of Brookville is a one-year agreement that automatically renews on January 1. The agreement may be terminated by either party upon 90 days advance notice. Brookville was advised last January that upon renewal, the terms of the agreement would be amended to reflect a per-account charge for income tax collection services rather than the current percentage of revenue collected method. The additional cost to the city of Brookville as a result of this change is estimated to be less than $5,000 during their first year. The per-account rate will be $26.55 for 2016, with an annual increase of 5%.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, move that we approve Resolution 15R-83 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Lewis, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve Resolution 15-R-83. Comments from council members?
It was interesting to note that unlike the other tax agreements, there was a history of all of the other previous contracts, so this was apparently one of the older ones. And based on the economics, I'm kind of glad that we're still able to do business with our fellow municipalities.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Bressman.
Yes.
Councilman Ayers.
Yes.
Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilman Gerhard.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 6-0. We have an ordinance in its first reading this evening, and that's ordinance 15-18 by title only, please.
Yes, ma'am. Ordinance 1518. An ordinance approving a major amendment to the planned unit development for the property located at 80 Clubhouse Way and owned by Pete and Susan Stodd in the RSF 3 district with a PUD overlay.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. RDA Group Architects, on behalf of Pete and Susan Stodd, is requesting a PUD major amendment to allow a third accessory building at 80 Clubhouse Way where a maximum of 2 accessory buildings is permitted. Due to the slope of the grade, the applicant is proposing to construct an accessory structure in the void beneath the existing deck at the rear of the residence. The Planning Commission reviewed this request at its September 1st meeting and unanimously recommended approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 1518 as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Blakesley, second by Councilman Ayers, that we do approve ordinance 15-18 in its first reading. Are there comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Brusman.
Yes.
Councilman Ayers.
Yes.
Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilman Gerhard.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 6-0. This evening, we have an ordinance in its second reading, and that's ordinance 15-17. By title only, please.
Ordinance 1517. An ordinance to revise appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Vandalia, Montgomery County, Ohio, during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2015, and amending Ordinance 1434.
Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, this ordinance would amend 2015 appropriations as follows. In the general fund, an additional $95,200 to account for unanticipated increases in legal expenses related to protracted contract negotiations and personnel-related matters, to appropriate funds related to medical equipment purchases that were offset by an EMS grant, to account for repairs to a medic unit as a result of an accident, to account for unanticipated hazmat membership dues, and for Maverma deductible expenses. An additional $6,000 in the Indigent Drivers Fund, and that is for higher than anticipated usage of alcohol monitoring devices by municipal court. The Indigent Drivers Fund is funded from a portion of OVI fines. And an additional $2,151 in the Golf Fund, and that is for audio-visual upgrades at Castle Hills Golf Course that were purchased through the Golf Fund and then reimbursed by Rotary.
Thank you. Since this is an ordinance in its second reading, we will open up a public hearing. And if there's anyone in the audience who would like to make comment about this particular ordinance, please come to the podium, state your name and address for our records, and make your comment. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
I move that we approve ordinance 15-17 in its second reading.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Ayler, second by Councilman Bressman, that we do approve ordinance 15-17 in its second reading. Are there any comments?
I have one only as it related to the deductible expenses was Maverma. And I realized that we had, extraordinary expenses, but thinking forward, we have a lot more streetscape, a lot more light poles, and a lot more things for the public to run into. And I think it's probably logical to assume that our expenses are going to go up somewhat in the future and that we may want to budget more in 16 for that occurrence.
We have had that discussion internally.
Very good.
Yes.
That's
Good
all, Your
comment.
Honor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Ayers.
Yes.
Councilman Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilman Gerhard.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Brusman.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 6-0. We have no ordinances as emergency this evening, and that brings us to our reports from boards and commissions, including the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board minutes of May the 20th, the Public Art and Vandalia Committee minutes of July the 21st, and the Civil Service Commission minutes of July the 31st. Are there any comments about any of those? Seeing none, we'll go on with council comments, beginning with Mr. Schaefer. You're here with us this evening.
Happy to be here. I have no report.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Nothing additional this evening.
Okay, great. And I'm going to start with Councilman Bressman.
Just one. Occasionally, I have the privilege of going to Burger King in the morning and meeting with gentlemen that are slightly older and wiser than me. And it's kind of a unknown fact that they run the city. And so, one morning we're staring out the window and you're looking at the east side of Vandalia Shopping Center and it's just a big blank wall. And the idea came up, and it wasn't my idea, that would sure be nice if there was some kind of artwork there. And so I talked to my dad, David Brusman, Julia Gerhardt, Bill Brusman, the three owners, and they all said that that would be something that would be really neat. They'd like to see something that related to maybe the history of Vandalia. So I'm passing that along. Obviously, Burger King would have to get involved because it's going to be right in their parking lot. But it sounds like a pretty neat thing. So
Wonderful. Yeah.
maybe we could have some competition or something. So I'm passing that on, and maybe we can get going on that.
Mr. Schaefer would like to add something to that.
The city, I'm not exactly sure who's doing it, but along the riverfront, as I look out my window north, and I'm on the 27th floor of the Kettering Tower, that whole wall from Main Street over to Patterson Boulevard, they primered it, and then they're doing a mural all along there, and it all plugs in one way, shape, or form to the history. And it's magnificent. I mean, it's really cool what they've done.
Good.
So the idea is a great idea, and if they can use it and do it, man, that's neat.
Okay.
I'd just like to add a few things. We're going to pass this on to Vice Mayor Forrest because I know that we've talked about buildings throughout the city where there's a plain wall, but still visible by a number of individuals. So I think that she'd love to work with, I'm talking for her, I guess, but she'd love to work with you as far as what your ideas are as to how to go about this. And I think the contest and all that is great. Thank
good.
you. Thank you so very much.
sure.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, Councilman Ayers?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. Councilman Gerhard?
No comment tonight.
Councilman Blakesley?
Nothing further, thank you.
Councilman Lewis?
Louis.
Only that I would ask that we excuse Councilperson Forrest from tonight's meeting and from all subsequent meetings.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Lewis and second by Councilman Blakesley that we do excuse Vice Mayor Forrest from the meeting this evening and all of the other meetings that we're having, which will include the executive session. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you very much. And I guess that brings it to me. And I have no comments this evening, so our meeting is adjourned.
Ta-da.
Whoops.